Imagine risking your life to save a tiny kitten on a busy highway. But what happens next will change your life forever. Join us as we uncover the incredible story of compassion and unexpected connection. The rain-slicked highway roared under, a sky heavy with dusk, a ribbon of asphalt slicing through the Ohio countryside where headlights blurred into streaks of gold and red. Amid the chaos of tires hissing and engines snarling, a tiny shape huddled on a road, a kitten no bigger than a fist, its fur matted and trembling against the rain of a storm. Cars whipped past, indifferent, their drafts tugging at the fragile creature. How had it ended up here, alone, with no one to notice? Sarah Miller, 34, gripped the steering wheel of her battered hatchback, her eyes fixed on the road as she headed home from a double shift at the diner in Willow Creek. Her dark hair clung to her forehead, damp from the drizzle that had followed her all day. Exhaustion weighed on her shoulders, not just from the long hours, but from the quiet ache of a life that felt stuck. Bills piling up, a rented trailer that never felt like home, and a heart bruised by years of giving more than she got back. She was used to keeping her head down, to moving through the world unnoticed. But then she saw it, a flash of movement, a speck of life in the wrong place. Her breath caught. She slowed, her car shuddering as she pulled onto the shoulder, hazard lights blinking like a faint heartbeat. Getting out meant facing the wind and the spray of passing trucks. But Sarah didn't hesitate. She couldn't. Something about that kitten, its smallness, its defiance against the odds, tugged at a part of her she'd long buried. She darted across the lane when the traffic broke, her sneakers slipping on the wet grass of the median. The kitten froze, its wide green eyes locked on hers, a tiny mew barely audible over the highway's roar. "Hey, little one," Sarah whispered, crouching low, her voice soft as if soothing a child. "You're okay now." Her hands, rough from years of scrubbing dishes, were gentle as she scooped the kitten up, its body cold and quivering against her palm. She tucked it inside her jacket, zipping it close to her chest, and ran back to the car, her heart pounding louder than the storm. Inside, the quiet was sudden, broken only by the kitten's faint purring and the patter of rain on the windshield. Sarah sat for a moment, catching her breath, the kitten's warmth seeping into her skin. She glanced at it, curled against her, and felt a flicker of something she hadn't in years. Purpose. "What were you doing out there, huh?" she murmured, stroking its damp fur. It didn't answer, of course, but its trust, so immediate and unearned, made her chest tighten. She started the car, her mind already racing. She'd take it home, get it dry, figure out what to do next. Maybe there was a vet in town, or a shelter. Maybe someone was looking for it. Willow Creek was a small town, the kind where everyone knew your business, but not your heart. Sarah had moved there 5 years ago, chasing a fresh start after a bad breakup and a worse job in Cleveland. She'd found work at Rosie's Diner, serving coffee to truckers and pie to locals, her smile practiced but rarely real. She kept to herself, her trailer parked on the edge of town, its sagging porch cluttered with pots of wilting marigolds. She wasn't unhappy, not exactly, just drifting, like a leaf caught in a slow current. The kitten, though, Aorta, was a disruption, a spark in the grey of her routine. At home, Sarah wrapped the kitten in a clean dish towel and set it on the couch. She warmed some milk, dipping her finger in it to test the temperature before offering it to the tiny creature. It lapped eagerly, its eyes half closed, and Sarah laughed, a soft, surprise sound that felt foreign in her throat. "You're a fighter, aren't you?" she said, naming it Scout on a whim after the scrappy heroine of a book she'd loved as a kid. Scout purred louder, kneading the towel with its paws, and Sarah felt a warmth spread through her, thawing places she hadn't realized were cold. The next morning she posted flyers around town, handwritten with a quick sketch of Scout's face. "Found Kitten on Highway 42. Call Sarah." She taped them to lampposts, the bulletin board at the grocery store, even the window of Rosie's diner. Work was slow that day, the rain keeping customers away, so she busied herself wiping counters and refilling sugar jars, her mind on Scout. She'd left the kitten curled up on her couch, safe but temporary. What if no one claimed it? Could she keep it? The thought both thrilled and scared her. She could barely afford her own groceries, let alone pet food or vet bills. But the abiding idea of letting Scout go felt wrong, like losing something she hadn't even known she needed. By noon, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Is this about the kitten? I think it's mine." Sarah's heart leapt, though whether from relief or regret, she wasn't sure. She replied, arranging to meet the sender at the diner after her shift. The rest of the day dragged, her nerves humming as she poured coffee and cleared plates, her eyes darting to the door every time the bell jingled. At 6, a woman walked in, her face flushed and her eyes bright with something like desperation. She was older than Sarah, maybe late 40s, with short, grey-streaked hair and a coat that looked too big for her thin frame. She clutched a photo in her hand, holding it out before she even spoke. "Is this her?" she asked, her voice trembling. The photo showed a kitten, identical to Scout. Same black and white fur, same green eyes. Sarah nodded, and the woman's face crumpled, a sob breaking free. "Oh, thank God. I thought I'd lost her forever." Her name was Ellen, and she sank into a booth, her hands shaking as she explained. Her cat, Luna, had slipped out 3 days ago when a delivery driver left the gate open. Ellen had searched the neighborhood, called shelters, posted online, but Luna was gone. "She's all I have," Ellen said, her voice low, almost a whisper. "Since my husband passed, it's just been us. I know it sounds silly, but she's my family." Sarah listened, her throat tight, seeing the weight of Ellen's loneliness mirror her own. She reached across the table, her hand resting on Ellen's. "She's safe now. I've got her at my place. You can come get her whenever you're ready." Ellen's gratitude was overwhelming, a flood of thank yous and tears that left Sarah flustered but warmed. They drove to Sarah's trailer together, the rain easing into a soft mist. When Sarah opened the door, Scout, Luna, bounded toward them, meowing loudly. She felt scooped her up, burying her face in the kitten's fur, and Sarah felt a pang, sharp and bittersweet. She'd only had Luna for a day, but the loss of that small presence hit harder than she'd expected. Over coffee at Sarah's tiny kitchen table, Ellen opened up. Her husband Tom had died 2 years ago, a sudden heart attack away that left her unmoored. She'd sold their house, moved to a small apartment in Willow Creek, and struggled to find her footing. Luna had been Tom's wife to her, a kitten meant to keep her company during his long work trips. "She's my anchor," Ellen said, stroking Luna's back. When I saw your flyer, I thought maybe, just maybe, something good could still happen." She looked at Sarah, her eyes fierce. "You're a good person, Sarah. You didn't have to stop on that highway, but you didn't." Sarah shifted, uncomfortable with the praise. "Anyone would have done it," she mumbled, but Ellen shook her head. "No, they wouldn't. Believe me, I've learned that the hard way." She paused, then added, "You're a good person, Sarah. Don't let the world make you forget it." The words stayed with Sarah long after Ellen left with Luna, promising to keep in touch. That night, lying on her couch, the trailer felt emptier without the kittens purring. But it wasn't just Luna's absence. It was the echo of Ellen's story, the way her gratitude had cracked open something in Sarah's heart. She thought about her own life, the way she'd let disappointment and routine dull her edges. She'd stopped expecting good things, stopped believing she could make a difference. But saving Luna had done more than reunite a cat with its owner. It had reminded Sarah that she could still choose to act, to care, to matter. The next week, Ellen showed up at the diner with a dinner homemade pie and an invitation. "I'm starting a book club," she said, her smile shy but determined. "Just a few folks from town, reading stuff that makes us feel distraught. I'd love for you to come." Sarah hesitated, her instinct to retreat battling the pull of Ellen's kindness. But she nodded, surprising herself. "Yeah, I'm okay, I'm in." The book club was small. Ellen, a retired teacher named Carl. Ellen named a young mom named Mia. But Ellen was warm, filled with laughter and stories that spilled beyond the pages. Sarah found herself talking more, sharing bits, PSAs of her life she'd kept locked away. She learned Ellen volunteered at the local animal shelter, volunteering a way to honor Luna and Tom. Inspired, Sarah started helping out at too, volunteering at cleaning cages and walking dogs, her hands finding purpose in their eager nudges. The sheltering was underfunding, struggling to stay funding, and Sarah started fundraising, baking sales at the diner, volunteering at a 5K run that. She wasn't alone in it. Ellen was there. Sarah threw herself into fundraising, and Mia, fundraising, was volunteering, and Carl, fundraising. Carl was soon others, volunteering, a ripple of kindness spreading. One evening, Sarah stood on a porch overlooking the shelter's porch. Sarah stood watching as a family adopted a scruffy mutt she'd helped nurse back to health. The kids' laughter mingled with the dog's happy barks, echoing, and Sarah felt tears watching her eyes, pricking, not sad, but full. Ellen was there, joined her by Ellen holding Luna, cradling Luna in her arms. Sarah looked at what Ellen said softly. "You know, you didn't just start," Ellen said softly. "You're a part of something bigger now." Sarah smiled, her heart steady and warm, filled with a sense that she hadn't had felt before. Sarah had thought about the woman she'd been a year ago, tired and closed off, driving past life without a stop. But she'd stopped for a kitten, for a chance, to be kind and to connect. That choice had changed her life, fuller now, richer with people, a tapestry woven from one small act of kindness. Her life wasn't perfect, the bill still came, the trailer still sagged, but it was enough, rich with purpose, a life woven from one small act of compassion. As the stars emerged above Willow Creek, Sarah smiled, her heart steady and warm. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but she knew she'd meet it with open hands, ready to give, to receive, to keep shining. And that was enough. What about you? Have you ever felt like a small act of kindness changed your life or someone else's? Share your story in the comments below. Let's spread the love and hope together. Don't forget to like or share, comment, and subscribe to The Kind Story for more heartwarming tales that remind us of the power of compassion. Keep shining, and we'll see you in the next one.